Silence! You won't die like last men visit Amazonia?
What'd they die of?
Crushed pelvises.
Yes!
Oh, thank you, Lord in heaven.
After lengthy femputations, I, Femputer, have decided the fate of the men. Femputer sentences them to death! By Snu Snu!
Yeah!
Yeah! What are you, gay?
I'll miss you, meatbag.
Me too, meatbag.
Goodbye, friends. I never thought I would die like this, but I'd always really hoped.
The Amazonians will be divided into 3 groups. The one called Zap will be Snu Snu'd by the large women. He that is designated Fry will be Snu Snu'd by the petite women. And Kif, as the most attractive male, will be Snu Snu'd by the most beautiful women of Amazonia. Then the large women. Then the petite women. Then the large women again. Initiate Snu Snu.
Oh! Woo! Yeah!
Oh, baby.
Yeah!
We need rest. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is spongy and bruised.
It's time, Snu Snu! Can't we just cuddle? No!
Hey everybody, Strone here with another first edition Friday video for you. Happy Valentine's Day to all those that celebrate, and just a normal happy Friday to everyone who doesn't. I know that Valentine's Day can be a bit of a polarizing holiday for people, and it's not really an important one. Let's be honest, it's not really all that important of a holiday. Personal opinion, the people you love, you should be showing them that you love them every day, not just making a big grandiose one-day thing here. So maybe that's just me as an old married person that that love is a daily thing, not just a one big day kind of a thing. But for those who like Valentine's Day, happy Valentine's Day. And with that, I'll go over what I have for you today. We are going to be on a Valentine's Day theme here. What I've done is I've taken a deck that I played, that I showed for you back in November. It's this one right here, the No Voyagers Allowed Delta Quadrant deck. What I've done is I've taken the deck that I showed in that video and made modifications to it to make it something of a different deck. And what we have done is we've turned it into a deck focusing on love and blowing things up. So, took out the point gain. Now that plot twist has been banned temporarily, or maybe not so temporarily, hard to say. That deck is now obsolete because you can't use plot twist. So, I may have a future deck for everybody here in the next couple of weeks, where we take one of those decks and we figure out how to make it still work without plot twist. But for now, the deck I have for you here basically just said, okay, well, if we can't score, if we can't do the 2-mission win, let's just do something entirely different. And then with today being Valentine's Day, I then also added in this whole let me help love interest gender-related dilemma package. And then with the whole blowing stuff up, these things actually do kind of work hand in hand. So this is a hypothetical scenario here. We're entirely in the Delta Quadrant. We have an opponent that's entirely in the Alpha Quadrant. And thus, all of our love interest dilemmas will move people around just within their own mission set. So let's say the opponent attempts here at Battle of Narendra 3 to start with. They'll have 2 males run away over here to Distress Mission, and then hopefully their Cloud gets nails the ship, because we'll have removed 2 dudes, we'll have removed a medical personnel, which means they would have needed 3 medical personnel, in order to beat the Cloud. That's not going to be super easy. The Cloud tags their ship, stops them for a bit, and then that buys us time, especially with a female's love interest garbage scout behind it, that in that time, say turns 3, turns 4, whatever, that the opponent is trying to push their way through Battle of Narendra 3, that what will happen is that we will hopefully solve one of our missions that has a Tox Utat under it. And again, these Tox Utats can go under basically any of these missions. Like, I'm only putting them here just because they are the 2 missions that we'd like to attempt first, so we can get buku points. Because realistically, if our opponent wants to dead end one of these 2 missions and the other one is available to us for us to try to solve for a Tox Utat, which then makes the other one that much easier because now the dead end is beaten, so that's kind of one less dilemma there. But that's a side point. The idea is that, like, say, turn 3, turn 4, the opponent's trying to push to their first mission. They're sending people over to a different planet mission. And in the time that we acquire the Tox Utat and then play that Tox Utat, so it's going to be like turn 4 that we would maybe acquire a Tox Utat, turn 5 we play it, and then turn 6 we can supernova, probably at the earliest. The opponent will have been presented with the problem of, like, possibly like 4 of their people are just sitting over here and maybe they went to go collect them, and then maybe now they're caught out in the open. Or they see us acquire the Tox Utat, they've seen us play the Tox Utat, and now they're like, well, if I stay here with my ship and the people that I have here, or at any of these other missions, then maybe that's the mission they're going to blow up. But also, I have 4 of my people sitting over here on this mission, and maybe they blow that mission up, and the opponent doesn't know. So they kind of have to spread their people out. They got to leave these people alone. That's the biggest weakness about, like, playing love interest dilemmas and stuff, especially like primal urges and stuff, is that if you're in a quadrant and your opponent's not in that same quadrant, it's not hard for them to get their people back. You're just relocating their people just a couple missions over sometimes. So the idea is that we leverage that knowledge and we try to close that weakness down a little bit, and we have the Supernova Tox Utat give us the option of, when we play that out, to go, do I want to blow up this mission that they got partially done and has, like, maybe no one at it? Or maybe it's partially done and they do have some people on the ship at it, and we can just nuke the ship, we can nuke the mission itself, they never get it solved. Yes, they get to go collect their personnel to attempt a different mission, but we've shut a mission down and made them waste their time. But maybe they do, like, squeak this mission out and solve it, and then they, like, move part of their people, they leave some of their people there, they move some of their people over to another mission. Then we just have the option of, like, okay, what do we want to blow up? Like, where's maybe their good people at? So it just presents us with options. It also allows us to basically, like, limit their options to, like, what missions are going to do. I mean, like, this opponent has police trade route along with Battle of Narendra 3. This would appear, like, we would assume that this is going to be like a 22nd century Klingon deck, or some kind of, like, Starfleet deck that's going to, like, work with Klingons, or have Federation access or something, because all these missions appear to be, like, either Klingon or Federation, or Starfleet getting access to Federation. And so we can kind of assume that Battle of Narendra 3 and a police trade route are kind of their big missions, but they have forced us to put our space dilemmas at them by only having them be their only space missions. So we're kind of forced into that. But going over the dilemma combos, it's basically just the same 3 dilemmas repeated. So for space, we have the Males of Interest Plague Ship combo into Cloud to put a ship on timeout, send some people over, Females Love Interest Garbage Scout, so one ship's on timeout, so if another ship's available, yes, they can attempt and whatever, but we're sending 5 people away, and then the Cloud's kind of hampering a certain ship, for a bit. For Planet, we have Ferengi Infestation into Telosian Cage into Matriarchal Society. How that works is that they need to have 3 security and cunning greater than 50, which requires a commitment of 6 or more people. I mean, it's going to require. I mean, cutting greater than 50 is going to basically require that most opponents are going to have to send like 8 people because, you know, I mean 5 times 8 is 40, and then you need at least like, then you still need 2 more. So it's probably going to be at least 7, if not 8 people are going to be required to beat a Ferengi infestation. You assume some females are going to go along because they're going to basically have to. And then we have the boosted Telosian cage, which means that we can make them discard 3 females, or up to 3 females basically. And then they stop to that, but then, you know, we've made them get rid of females. And then we hit them with a matriarchal society behind that, and that requires 3 females to beat. So wherever the females are tends to be where we want to supernova things, but not necessarily. And then the dual combo is Primal Urges into Kuna Caliphate, and then we of course target science with that, and then we set up a scientific method on the back end for that one. So. But again, I don't necessarily believe that these combos are like the bomb diggity. All we've done is basically like set up a bunch of combos that are leveraging the fact that we're just thematically doing all the love interests and gender-related dilemmas with Let Me Help Today for Valentine's Day. And again, now the actual deck is kind of what it was before. It has made some tweaks to it, some changes to it. One thing we did, since we took out all the point stuff, is we had room for the cryo satellite Toxu Tots and the Toxu Tot, and then room for the Let Me Help. We got room to play with Cafe for our on-theme Love Day, and then we changed the personnel around a little bit. We focused more on like getting some more like the romantic pairs in, so like the Doctor and Dr. Pell made their way into the deck. It became clear that one of the things that we could do is that if we're going to take certain people out, we had to kind of reorganize skills a little bit, and it actually became clear that running a package with all the different little Borgs becomes pretty good. And then we put one into the Q's tent. We download it with Study Proto Nebula. Part of the reason why the Borg works so well is that since we're focusing on love interest here, if we draw Riley Frazier, then we can use holoprogram Cafe d'Artiste to download Chakotay so we can get our ancestral vision running. We can also just do it reverse. If we get Chakotay, we can go get her. One of the more better things to do is if we grab Neelix, and we can grab Kess, because she helps bail us out of missions. Bail us out of trouble, that is. And yeah, and of course this gives us an additional card draw. Of course, we've also got Belana Torres and Tom Paris as a romantic pair in this deck as well. So yeah. Yep, it's still a, here we go, the Doctor and Dr. Pell. So it's definitely an interesting little deck. And then we are on a 3-mission win path. There's several combinations of missions you can do. They revolve around these 2 missions, but you can basically do a couple of different ways. With mission specialists, you can go 35 here, plus 50 here is 85, and then you can solve Restore Victims to get to 100 to 140. You can do Investigate Quantum Singularity for 45, this one for 55, this one for 40. That gets you to 140 with no mission specialists. If you can mission specialist Answer Distress Call for 40, and if you can, and then of course if your opponent gives you 10 points somehow, then you basically open up literally every mission. So, because again, like if an opponent wants to play Cytherians, like, you know, and give us points with Cytherians, it's probably not a good idea. So, yeah. So that's the deck. That's the dilemma strategy. We'll just fishbowl just a little bit here for the funsies. Okay, it's a pretty decent draw, almost standard draw with this deck. This is a little bit, maybe a little bit above curve. We're gonna assume that we won the coin toss. So we would be able to go Revise Tuvok for free. We can play Icheb for free here. We will card play. No, we will special download. Yeah, we'll card play. We'll special download with Revised Tuvok. We'll just go straight up in and have our personal download for the turn be Evil Janeway. Evil Janeway. As a special download. That gives us our 4 treachery so that we can go War Council to draw 3 cards. We won't download anybody with Defend Homeworld then this turn. Or with Holodeck Door, but that's okay. We go to end of turn and we just simply draw a card. Opponent has their first turn. During the opponent's turn, we have Revised Janeway download somebody. Kind of as a general rule for this deck, you'd almost always want it to be Evil Kim. Is he in our hand? No. Where is Evil Kim? There's Evil Kim. We want his Reflection Therapy download in a pinch. Okay, opponent finishes their first turn, plays a couple of dudes, blah, blah, blah. We go to our second turn, and we can go Chakotay for free here. We can go with Revised Paris for free here. We can Holodeck Door. And download a hologram that's good. Actually, let's not do that yet. What we'll do is we'll card play Marie Kaplan. Then during the execute orders phase, we'll discard the holo program to go get Riley Frazier as our boink. Riley Frazier as our personal download for the turn. Then we can holodeck Door and grab a replacement copy of the holo program, and then in response to that, before we do that, we special download Earn Your Rank so that we can get a card draw off of the holodeck Door being played. Now our dudes here also have staffing, so that when we leave the confines of the future in a moment, we will be able to staff the ship on its own. But what we're going to do is we will just simply beam down Chakotay, and then we'll draw 2 to end the turn. Opponent has their second turn. We've seeded Let Me Help, and so we've kind of like telegraphed to our opponent. So we get to assume if we're playing against like another fast opponent, that maybe they attempt with like 5 people, like real quick. So let's assume that they attempt with like 5 people here at Battle of November 3. So yeah, we send 2 people over to here. So there's 2 people over here. They discard somebody to the plague ship, or they don't. Maybe everyone dies. I don't know. Let's assume that they can. That they somehow have a medical after 2 dudes leave. They have like a female medical or something. Then the remaining like 2 people hit the cloud and get doinked on the ship. Turn passes back to us. We have lots of options here for what we want to do. I mean, we'll play Kess for free for sure. We'll play Revised Kaiser for free for sure. And, you know, let's just go ahead and drop Skill Boss down. Mr. Skill Boss will hit the table. Then we will just go ahead and defend Homeworld. That'll get us Pinky Pinks. And in addition to Pinky Pinks, he will go ahead and grab us a Casa ship just to give us stuff and things. Again, these people don't have staffing for the Dauntless, so they would be able to use Temporal Conduit. We'll simply send. We'll send this guy. Well, no, we'll send the ship. We'll send the Delta Flyer. We'll send the Delta Flyer to the bottom of the deck. And we'd be able to move the Dauntless into the future. Fly to here. We'd leave this ship behind. And we would just have literally everybody on the ship because obviously we've, between Kess and the Dauntless's download, we have bug outs available to us. And then so basically on turn 3 we've got 13 personnel attempting here at Investigate Quantum Singularity. DNA security scan. We'll assume that they've gotten like a couple of objectives in there. So let's say it's cunning greater than, I don't know, hell, if even it's cunning greater than 60, I'm pretty sure we can beat it. So, yeah, 7, 13, 19, 25, 33, 40, 48, 57, 68, 70, 76, 84, and 90 plus. So, like, even if it's as big as it could possibly be, we have the cunning. 2 engineer and 2 computer skill is like hardly a problem because there's 2 engineer and computer skill is really not. I would think that computer skill is not much of a, yeah, Riley Frazier. So we have all of that. That's not what would be behind it. That's also not what would be behind it. Maybe a more of your kind might be behind it. And then let's assume then we can go into it. If they're doing this, then what's happening is they're trying to set up, let's just assume this is what it is. It's definitely setting up it would definitely be setting up friendly fire. So we can just assume that that's what's being set up here based upon this randomness here. Alright, so reveal to all, none, and shuffle. 7 of our people will go through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. They go through. Reveals a friendly fire. And we definitely don't have 2 leadership, 2 security. I mean, we got a bunch of engineers and physicists and crap like that. It's like I have 1 leadership that went through. Okay, so instead of, God, Logan, so many possibilities for like being able to beat this. I want to keep Kess in play if possible. So what I would just do is we would just special download Quantum Slipstream Drive and just bug our way back out. Yeah, we could just bug ourselves out, like say over to here, and then the people that were fleshy flushes, we could just beam down. Honestly, we could just beam these two down. And they could just attempt the mission to see what is there. Let's find a good starting one. Yep. Let's just assume that we hit a Jolly Chew. That's a good one that would have be a reasonably expected one to face here. Do not have Anthropology in the way team. They would just die. Alright. Opponent has their third turn. Let's assume that they maybe get a second ship and whatever else. They encounter the females of interest garbage scout. They don't have 2 engineer. Then we make another 2 dudes go away. So then that ship is there. So there's now like 4 people over here. And then there are likely to be like 4 or 5 people that are stopped here with a ship, and then both ships. Of course, we're not going to be able to get the Tox Utot and Supernova off in time. But what we can do, we needed to draw our 2 cards at the end of turn. Alright, we'll start with a War Council off of our 4 Treachery. Cool. Alright, he plays for free, and she plays for free. Alright, we have security, leadership. I don't have another leadership here, but it doesn't matter because we played a leadership. So Dauntless flies to here. We put everybody on board with the Sukatsu ship. We attempt. We beat this. We solve. Double engineer mission specialist with another engineer, and 2 navigation might be the real problem. No, that's right, he's got the double navigation. So, double navigation there. So we solve the mission for 50 points. We acquire a Tox Utot into our hand. Cryo satellite is removed. This ship has only moved 4. I now know what I need in order to beat a Jolly Chew, which is to say the ship. Do I have Anthropology of any kind in play? I do not. Alright. I mean, I have Chakotay, obviously. Should have brought him with, but whatever. So, yeah, I mean that's where we're at. We could try to press here. We could just burn the reflection therapy to give somebody Anthropology. Seems like a good idea, sort of. See, the Dauntless flew. We could just burn Cass if we wanted to. Flew 4, 7. 10 doesn't matter though. Bird and Kes, fly it back to here. Guess I'm not really too worried about dealing with the Cycurians. So, we could, I mean, we either burn the gift or we burn the reflection therapy. I like the idea of burning the reflection therapy first. So, we can just fly to here. We can download reflection therapy in order to give. You just change. What's a bad skill that we don't care about? We can just change Echeb's youth to anthropology. We can special download holo projectors onto this mission. Because he's stuck in the past, this is not a valid location, it's not a mission, so therefore I can download it to anywhere that it could exist, so we download it to this mission, and then we can just literally we can just keep the commander and this fleshbag transporter skill, and I suppose we'll protect Kes then. I don't have any medical in play. I won't have any medical on the planet. And if people die, I lose them and that's it. Not that big of a deal if I lose them. I mean, I'd lose a physics. I'd lose his physics, but yeah, not that worried. Not that worried, because I mean, it'd be a little tough actually if I lost his physics. I wonder if we shouldn't send down Kes. Let's send down Kes and let's leave Leia Brahms behind. And then we beam down an attempt. We beat the Jolly Chew. Let's say that it's leading into a. That's not a dilemma. That is, okay. So we need to, is it all of them or just ours? It telegraphs to everybody, so this actually also requires 3 security. 1 security. 2 security. Only the 2 security. Yeah. So that would just stop us. And then the opponent has their turn. Let's say they move this to here, and then maybe they come back, maybe they can solve. I'm not sure. Let's assume that maybe they do. We get to our turn, and we can just play a Tox Utot. We have to draw at the end of the turn. We get to play a Tox Utot. We can play him for free here in the past. And we can play. Do we play Tabor for free or the? Yeah, we play Tabor for free. And then yeah, we'd be able to just basically beat this by sending down Pank. We could just literally straight up beam him down. We could just beam everybody down at this point. We've beaten the Jolly Chew, so now we're more concerned about being able to beat God, or if God happens, we want to not have anyone on board the ship. So we would attempt beat the Ferengi infestation. Help out a 49er. Exactly 7 personnel. Nope. Personnel with printed 777. Highly unlikely. Oh, she's close. Nope. A non-zero score evenly divided by 7. No, 50. We're literally like 1 point off. Hilarious. Exactly 7 cards in hand. We do not have that. However, is there a way we can make ourselves have 7 cards in hand? We're gonna just lose the 7 points. Whoops. We're just gonna lose the 7 points. Alright, and then that was the last dilemma, so we go Toxu, so we reveal the Toxu Tot, and then we have Science 1, Science 2, Physics 1, 2, and 3, Mission Specialist, Transporter Skill 1, and I don't think we have Transporter Skill 2 yet. But we can. Oh, that was the reason why. That was the reason why we were going to play him instead. Derp. I knew there was a reason. We would have been smart. We would have known that. We would then fly back. We would grab Rebby and Azan on board the Dauntless, fly out to here, and then attempt and solve. Acquire another Tox Utot, solving the mission with Mission Specialist for 60. And then, yeah, and then of course, we've used 8 of our 10 range. If we wanted to, we could burn Kess here, but I don't see a reason to. We need to protect her in order to, be able to bug out of answer distress signal if we need to. Opponent, hard to say what they would be doing at this particular moment, but whatever it is that they do, they got to be wary of a supernova blowing them up. So they maybe want to like spread their people out. They definitely cannot have all their eggs in one basket. They have their turn. We draw 2 cards into our turn. We get to our turn and we'll just like supernova. Let's just assume that we just supernova the mission that has all their like people on it, their planet mission. So we just like nuke that one straight out of the sky. And we can play Revised Neelix for free, and we can play Tabor for free. And then yeah, the Dauntless can fly to here, and of course, like it'd be very hard for the opponent to stop us with our 13 people and having a bug out card. So and now that we've like set our opponent back and taken a mission away, it'd be very hard for an opponent. And then maybe if we can somehow find another supernova. That's probably gone, I believe. It's very hard for our opponent to like find another, get through like 2 more missions. There's even a possibility that they like maybe like went over here to do primal urges and sent more people over here. Who knows? Hard to say. That's the deck. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, thanks for watching.
Slide hit.
I'm throwing rocks tonight. Mark it, dude.